Now that's what I call a meatball. I'm Mark Matsumoto and welcome to my Tokyo kitchen. Today I want to show you an easy teriyaki meatball recipe. With plump, tender chicken meatballs glazed in a simple 3-ingredient teriyaki sauce, it's perfect over a bowl of rice. But it can also make for an addictive finger food at gatherings, so let's start with a look at our ingredients. For the meatballs, I'm using 1 egg, 2 tablespoons vegetable oil, a 1/4 teaspoon salt, 7 grams of ginger, 28 grams of panko, 25 grams of onion, and 320 grams of ground chicken. For the teriyaki sauce, I've got 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sake, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. I've also got some chopped scallions for garnish. To make the meatball mixture, I'm gonna start by breaking the egg into a large bowl, and then I'm gonna add the vegetable oil and the salt. Now I'm gonna grate in the ginger. By the way, I'm using ginger because I'm glazing these in teriyaki sauce, but you can change these up by adding ingredients like oregano and parmesan and serving them with a marinara sauce, or you can add some nutmeg and black pepper and blanket these in gravy. Next, I'm gonna whisk this mixture together until it's uniform in color. Ground chicken can be relatively lean, which can make your meatballs tough and dry. This egg and oil emulsion helps keep them juicy and tender by allowing the chicken to retain its juices while basting it from the inside as it cooks. Then I'm gonna add the panko and stir it in until it's absorbed the egg mixture. These Japanese breadcrumbs have a light, airy structure which will absorb the chicken juices while giving the meatballs a tender texture. Now I'm gonna add the ground chicken, and let's mince up our onion. You want to try and chop these as small as you can, otherwise it can make your meatballs lumpy. If they're still too big, you can go back over them with your knife like this until they're about the size of a peppercorn. Okay, let's get these in with the other ingredients. And then I'm gonna mix this up well, getting the panko and egg mixture evenly distributed into the chicken. At this point I could make the meatballs, but I prefer letting this rest overnight in the fridge, which is gonna help firm up the mixture and make it easier to shape it into balls. To cook the meatballs, I'm gonna preheat the oven to 240 degrees Celsius, which is about 465 degrees Fahrenheit. Now let's roll out our meatballs. Be sure to have a bowl of vegetable oil ready and get your hands nice and slick so the meat doesn't stick to them. Now I'm going to use a spoon to measure out the meat mixture so I have just over a tablespoon. Then I'm just going to roll this between my palms to round it into a ball. Place it on a parchment-lined baking sheet and repeat this process with the rest of the chicken. A hemispherical measuring spoon works best because you can measure out the chicken while shaping it. If you didn't let the chicken rest overnight, it's gonna be a little softer and they won't stay quite as round, but they're still gonna taste delicious, so don't let that stop you from making these. This should be enough to make about 24 bite-sized meatballs. Once you've rolled all of the chicken into meatballs, get the pan into the oven and we're gonna let this bake for 8 to 10 minutes. While we wait for those to cook, I want to take a moment to tell you about my personal stash of recipes over at marksrecipes.com. It's where I share the easy, family-friendly meals that I cook at home, like this zesty pineapple shrimp stir fry, these crisp and cheesy zucchini pancakes, or this pan-grilled curry chicken breast. And your membership helps to support my videos on here, so head over and check it out. All right, let's get back to our meatballs. When the meatballs are almost cooked, add the sugar, sake, and soy sauce to a pan, and boil the ingredients until the teriyaki sauce is thick and bubbly like this. All right, let's get the meatballs out of the oven, and then I'm gonna add them to the thickened teriyaki sauce. Give the meatballs a couple of tosses to coat them evenly with the teriyaki sauce. Or you can use a spatula to roll them around the pan like this. Beautiful, aren't they? If you're having these for dinner, I like serving them over a bed of rice, along with the drizzle of teriyaki sauce to season the rice. Then I'm gonna finish it off with a sprinkle of green onions. And our chicken teriyaki meatballs are ready to eat. Alright, let's try these out. Itadakimasu. Alright, I'm gonna grab a meatball with a little bit of rice here too. Look at that. Ground chicken is super lean, so it can get a bit dry, but these are tender and juicy thanks to that emulsion of the egg and oil we added. And that simple teriyaki sauce is sweet and savory with the marvelously nutty caramelized flavor. My teriyaki meatball recipe is the perfect weeknight meal on top of a bowl of rice. But it's also equally good for a casual get-together, so I hope you'll give it a try. Well, I gotta go water the garden, but check out this playlist for more tasty finger food ideas. And I'll catch you in the next one.